Inside this box is the Prusa XL 2-head semi-assembled 3D printer. In the last video, we unboxed the 5-head fully assembled version. It is now right over there. Today I have my friend Marco with me.
Hi everybody.
Guten Tag everybody. Marco is from Germany. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to engineering and 3D printers. And we're going to answer once and for all, is it worth the cost savings to go with semi-assembled versus fully assembled? How long would you say it took us to build that one?
I think about 3 hours overall.
This, I assume, is going to take considerably longer. Is it going to take so much longer that it is worth the $500 US differential to pay for a fully assembled version? I don't know. Marco, you opted for the semi-assembled. Why did you want to assemble the printer yourself?
Because it's always part of the Prusa experience to build up your printer by yourself. That's basically the main reason. And of course, you save some money on it.
So this was a pre-order printer. So we did get the extra spring steel sheet. We have some instructions here. Of course, we have the jumbo Haribos. And not only the box is big, but the gummy bears themselves are, would you say 3 times bigger?
Probably 5 times.
Marco has been to the Haribo factory, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to gummy bears as well. So we have a box of parts, a extruder.
Here's the second one.
Some PLA Prusa Galaxy Black, subassembly 1 of 2, subassembly 2 of 2. Inside my box, we have the modular heated bed, as well as the top and bottom frame of the printer.
And it looks like here we have the Y-axis, some frame parts. No, excuse me, that's the Z-axis.
Do you say Z or Z in Germany?
They say Z. Pronounce it Z.
So this is one of the unique features of the Prusa XL is this modular heated bed. So this is the top frame of the printer. That looks like the base of the printer.
Yeah, good. Let's go ahead with this one. Z-axis, 2 of them. Here we go. Filament sensor.
Part of the back panel, presumably. Then we have the back of the printer with the 2 power supplies. We had 3 power supplies on the 5-head.
Yeah, it looks like we have to purchase another power supply if we want to upgrade it to a 5-printed version.
Now we're gonna have a look inside these Nextruder boxes. So we were curious if these are going to be semi-assembled or fully assembled. It's looking...
Yeah, it's looking exactly the same, yeah.
So that's good to know. So the state of completeness of the assembly of the tool heads is identical, whether you're getting a fully assembled Prusa XL or semi-assembled.
I'm really surprised by the level of pre-assembly they did.
It does look like they've done a lot of the work for us, which is great. The very first thing we're going to do is assemble the base. We first install the 2 rear extrusions, which are keyed to ensure proper orientation. The Z-axis fixed assembly is installed on the left side of the printer, with the Z-axis rotary assembly on the right. A few 3D printed parts, supplied with the kit, turns an ordinary Allen key into a torque wrench. We'll use this to tighten all of the screws we've installed so far. We'll then gather the parts for the LCD. The screen screws into the pre-installed T-nuts. A ground cable and a ribbon cable plug in from behind, and are routed through the channel in the extrusion. It's a tight fit, so this step can be frustrating. Some 3D printed parts will help with cable management, while the extrusion covers will keep things looking neat and tidy. All right, so we've just completed the base assembly. Marco has done all of the cable management. What's up next?
Next step is we go ahead with the Core XY assembly.
All right, but first, Haribo time.
It's Haribo time, yes.
After a quick gummy bear break, we retrieved the Core XY assembly and positioned it above the Z-axis extrusions. A few screws to hold it in place, then the printer can be rotated. We'll use the makeshift torque wrench to ensure they're nice and tight. With the pre-installed T-nuts repositioned, the Z-axis rails can be secured to the extrusions. We'll then install these little metal brackets all around to help ground the frame. The cover clips must also be installed at various positions on the frame. These simply rotate to lock into place. We'll then turn our attention to the rear panel, from which we'll remove the electronics box cover, the antenna slot cover, and the top electronics casing. We can then pivot the panel into place. We'll need to reposition the cover clips and the grounding brackets to match the positions of the holes on the panel before screwing it into place. The LCD ribbon cable will be routed through the extrusion on the right rear before being hidden by an extrusion cover. Now it's time to plug in all of the connections coming from that side of the printer: the motors, the lights, and the LCD. Some zip ties will help keep things organized. We'll repeat the procedure on the left side, plugging in the cables and making them look neat. The ground wire will be connected to the frame directly. The top electronics cover is then replaced. The Wi-Fi antenna needs to be installed onto a printed part, before being secured in place and connected to the Wi-Fi module. We'll replace the electronics box cover and screw on the antenna. Then we're done back here. Every extrusion gets a cover to keep dirt from collecting within them. The Z-axis ones are orange, and make a satisfying sound when installed. Then it's on to the side panels, which attach in the same way as the back panel. Next up is the heated bed. With the electronics cover removed, we'll secure the leads coming from the wire bundle that is pre-installed on the back frame. The bed is then placed on top of the lead screws. A bearing and a printed part constrain the motion of the lead screw from above. The bed is then coupled to the Z-axis rails by way of the metal brackets that are pre-installed on the rail carriages. We'll secure the cable bundle under the bed, then move on to the tool changing mechanism. A few small pieces are first inserted into the metal parts. We'll then screw these onto the carriage. A plastic cover snaps into place and completes the assembly of the tool changing mechanism. Last but not least is the filament sensor. And now we are at the point where the fully assembled printer came out of the box. How long do you think this took us to get to here?
I think overall we were working on that like 4 hours probably.
So do you think it was worth it for you personally to save $500 to get this as a kit?
Definitely, I will do it ever again. We know how to assemble everything now. Next time we will need probably half the time, so it's definitely worth saving these $500.
If you're also considering the options of semi-assembled versus fully assembled, you heard it here, semi-assembled is the way to go. So we're going to leave it here for now and maybe cut in some footage from our previous assembly of the fully assembled printer, because again, it proceeds from here to the exact same endpoint, and from this point forward there is no difference. So thank you, Marco, for coming and letting us build your printer today. And
you're very welcome, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, so thanks all of you for watching. Stay tuned for a follow-up video on this. Maybe I'll follow up with Marco in a little while and see how he's making it with his 2-head semi-assembled and soon to be fully assembled printer. And I will let you know how I make it with the 5-head version. So until next time, I'm Taylor.
I'm Marco.
Happy 3D printing. We'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.